Story of the week as a mom of an autistic child. Yesterday, my son got to the car. Actually, he came out a little early from school and totally surprised me right at my window. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I just needed a hug." I said it was a tough day. I'll tell you about it later. So, come to find out that um, they had a Veterans Day celebration yesterday at his school, and um, my son admitted that he felt he had been maybe a little disrespectful. He had two kids tell him that he was being disrespectful during that, and he said, "Mom, I just didn't know when to clap and when not to, and I obviously messed up." And he did talk to one of his friends and said, I'm sorry that sometimes I miss social cues, and I have a hard time with that." And the kid ended up, working it out with him. Very sweet. Um, but then you've got other kids that really don't understand ASD in any way, shape, or form. And again, we're talking middle school, so it's definitely a tougher years here. Everybody's going to be kind of mean at some point, even my kid, no matter how much I try and teach him. But there was another kid who called him fat and took his water bottle yesterday and shoved him and said, "That's for being disrespectful during the veterans celebration." Um, and, it's hard to hear it. It's really hard to hear it. My kid is definitely a little overweight. He has RFID. It's very difficult, as I'm sure a lot of you parents know, to get your kid to eat healthy. Some kids are super, super skinny because they don't eat enough, and some kids are a little overweight because they only want bad food, and it's very hard to get them to eat healthy, and that's our case. It's very tough to hear that your kid's being made fun of. And on top of all of that, every time I tried to talk to him and say, "Oh, I'm really sorry you had that day," he stopped me and said, "Hang on, I'm not done." And then he goes to tell me that he was outside for recess and he was just so unbearably hot. And so he went to hide in the ball pit area. It's like a bin where they keep the balls. And I guess he went in there and got a little shade and cooled off for a little bit, which, again, obviously not the best place to be, but that's where he chose. And I believe 3 boys came and sat on top of it and were kicking it, knowing he was in there, and not letting him out. So, these days are really hard to hear about. I don't think this is happening just to kids on the spectrum. I think this is happening all over the place. But it's especially hard when you do have a kid on the spectrum that doesn't know how to handle these situations properly. And it's really, really hard to let them grow up, let them figure it out on their own, stand up for themselves. And it's so hard as a mom. And I know a lot of you can relate. And I just want you to know I'm here with you, and I'm here to support you through these moments. It's tough. It's very, very tough. And it's tough being a mom, period, and hearing this about your kids. So anyway, please teach your kids to be kind. It's not that hard. Be kind. Give everybody a break. Understand that some kids may not learn the same way you do. Some kids may not act the same way you do. It could be something going on at home. It could be something in their brain. Just teach your kids to be kind. That's all I ask. It's all we can do to try and make the world a better place. So that's my PSA for the day. Anyway, but I hope you guys are having a great week, and talk to you soon.